Hello, this is Jimmy Crane with OutThereFlyFishing.com. Today I am going to tie for you a little olive hackle stacker midge that I am actually doing up for a fly swap. We're going to start off with a size 18 standard dry fly hook. Our thread today is going to be Uni 8/0 olive done. We're going to start off by tying the tying the thread in about 2 eyes worth behind the eye, and then work that thread all the way back to the bend of the hook. Once you get to the bend, progressively wrap your thread back forward, back to your tie-in point. Touching turns is very important here because that's going to be the body of our fly. Now with this tag in, I kind of straighten it out as much as I can, and then I wrap it forward, just like you would copper wire for the ribbing. You can skip this step if you want. I can notice a difference when you look up close. Don't know if the fish do or not. It's just something I've done since I've tied these. Pin down that thread. Next we're going to grab a piece of 6/0 mono, probably about 6 inches long. Put the tips together so that way you have a loop. You're going to tie it so the loop is behind you and the tag ends are going to be heading forward towards the eye of the hook. Go ahead and lash that down with 3 or 4 wraps. Make sure it's all on top of the hook. Tighten down. I like to pull back the tips and put a wrap in front of it and then back over it, and that kind of is my final securing wrap on that. Next we're going to just take size 18 hackle, grizzly hackle, and we're going to not really strip but pull forward a few of these fibers and then cut them so that way there's a little bit of barbule sticking out. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see that, but there's a few little barbules sticking out. That tends to help hold the feather in there a little bit better. Go ahead and lash it down so it's in there securely and let it hang there. Next we're going to take a piece of Swiss straw. This is white Swiss straw, which I flattened out, and because we're only need a little thin patch of this, grab a pair of straight scissors so that way it makes it easier to cut through this all in one sweeping movement. I found if you get short scissors it doesn't want to cut straight. Then you have your little patch here. Go ahead and crumple it back up, kind of like how it came in the package. It's just you don't want that much of it. So once it's all bundled together, put it around your thread and pull it back and tie that in with one wrap. Now what you want to do is V these so that way they're both pointing backwards from the top of the hook, and go ahead and trap them down. Now you can kind of see I got one on one side and one on the other of that mono loop. Next you're going to keep your finger inside this loop, grab your hackles, and using your finger, this hand, and I'll try not to block the camera too much, and these fingers you're going to use it to wrap that hackle up the mono. So you're just going to go around and around, keep tension. You want to go up probably 7-8 times. Once you're happy with how far up you are, then start wrapping it back down the mono. Sometimes those wings can get in your way and be kind of bothersome. I used to tie them in after I did this, but it just traps so many of the hackles. Once you have that all the way down to the bottom. Go ahead and hold it. Get it locked in there with a couple wraps. I like to fold it back and make a last securing wrap. Cut the hackle out of the way. Next I'm going to take some dark olive dubbing, dry fly dubbing, just a little wisp of it. You just want to barely coat the thread. You're just going to make a little ball right in front of this hackle. Go ahead and pull the hackle out of your way. Make your little ball of dubbing. This is going to splay this hackle up on top of the fly. Just keep stacking it so it's a big ball. Then come down towards the eye. Make sure these are still up on top of the hook. Pull your loop of hackles forward. Catch in front of it. And keep tension on the mono. Put a couple wraps in there. Sorry about my hands in the way. Pull the mono backwards and lash it down with a couple more wraps in front of the mono. Once you're happy with how secure it is, go ahead and put in a double whip finish. Being careful not to trap that mono. Trim away the thread. Come in here and trim away the mono. Trim away any of those rogue fibers that may have got trapped down weird. Splay these pieces of mono one side or the other so they V. Then come in here and clip them to whatever length you're happy with. I like mine a little longer. Those are going to be your antenna. Then stroke back these wings and come in here and clip them as long as the body. There's your wings, your antenna, and the hackle stacker up top. If you want, you can spread these wings out a little bit more, flatten them down. Looks real nice. That is your hackle stacker.